Hello everybody, Tajri on the Guy 3 here. Welcome back to more Showdown. I'm doing a random battle versus Justice Crab. The battle starts off pretty well, man. I start off with a Pachirisu. I think that's kind of cool. I go ahead and I use the Pachirisu and use Nuzzle. The Nuzzle paralyzes the Cloyster. Cloyster ends up not being able to move, obviously, because of the Nuzzle. So then I use Thunderbolt, and I know that Cloyster has very low special defense. The fact that he even lived that Thunderbolt is nothing short of a miracle, considering the fact that it's a water type and it has bad special defense. But he got Parahax twice, and it was like bad luck on his part, so I used Thunderbolt again. I don't know why they didn't just switch out, but then again, there's not much a paralyzed Cloyster can do. Diancie really takes the crown here. She was killing it in this entire battle. I Mega Evolver, and then I end up using Moonblast on Regice. The Moonblast was originally meant for the Absol, but then I end up using Diamond Storm. I know Regice isn't faster than Diancie on Mega, so I just take this chance to just use Diamond Storm a bunch of times. Thanks to the Magic Bounce, I was able to bounce that Thunder Wave back on the Volbeat and then use Diamond Storm to knock the Volbeat out. So yeah, that's 2 victories for Diancie right there. Tyranitar comes out here, and I think Tyranitar is going to end up using Mega Evolution. So I end up using Moonblast under the impression that it's part of Dark types to take advantage of that. But Diancie ends up losing because of the Earthquake, because it's a Rock type. But that was cool. She had a nice run. She knocked out 2.5 Pokemon. Carnivine comes out here. Carnivine takes a huge crunch, and then I go ahead and Power Whip and knock out the Tyranitar. So that Tyranitar is down. And then the Sandstorm is going to do more damage to Carnivine. Thankfully, it has a leftover to kind of cancel out that damage. I use Knockoff, so it knocks off the Conqueror's Life Orb, which was pretty good. Then he uses Bulk Up. I guess the plan was to bulk up the defense and then power up the attack with the Life Orb in order to do a significant amount of damage. The Sandstorm is going to do damage to me. I end up using the Substitute under the impression I can buy a little bit of time, but I didn't know the Conqueror knew Ice Punch, so it fades that Substitute almost immediately away, making my efforts kind of pointless. But it's okay. I decided to go ahead and use another Power Whip. It does an okay amount of damage, but not enough to wrap it up. The Drain Punch kind of kills my efforts because it brings back a lot of Conqueror's health, but that's cool. The Sandstorm's over, though, and then I got Victory Bell out here. The plan is to use Sleep Powder so Conqueror can go to sleep, and then I'm going to go ahead and use Swords Dance in order to make Victory Bell's Power Whip a lot stronger. This team had a lot of Power Whips, Carnivine and Victory Bell, so yeah, the strong Power Whip was able to knock out Conqueror with no problems. And then Absol comes out here, and Absol is going to use Play Rough on Victory Bell, but it's not going to do much because it's part poison. Swords Dance Power Whip is going to knock out the Absol, and that wins me the battle right there. So that was a pretty fun battle. Yeah, it was really nice to just utilize Diancie and Victory Bell. So the next battle is against Alex1420. It's a Gen 6 OU battle, by the way. I got my Gen 6 OU team out here. Ampharos is out here. I bust out Dedenne. And then I end up using the Nuzzle. The Nuzzle obviously isn't going to do a lot. So he ends up using Brick Break. And I end up using Play Rough. The Play Rough does a lot of damage. Then he uses Dragon Pulse. Obviously, I'm immune to that. So he decides to go ahead and switch out, and then Lucario's out here. I end up using Play Rough on the Lucario in hopes that it would do a lot of damage because it's a fighting type, but I forget that it's part Steel, sorry. So Steels will resist in the Fairy, obviously. I use the Nuzzle. The Nuzzle paralyzes Lucario, and then I use the Thunderbolt. The Ice Punch is going to do a lot of damage to Dedenne. Dedenne is frozen here, and I'll get really pissed off at that, but he's paralyzed, so I don't switch out immediately. I'm hoping that Dedenne can, like, thaw out before it gets too bad. So yeah, thankfully I do get the Citrus Berry and the Cheek Pouch up. My next move is obviously going to be a Recycle so I can get the berry back. Unfortunately, the ice just hasn't thawed out yet. Thankfully, the Close Punch is making Lucario much weaker, so that's a good thing. And then Lucario is still paralyzed, so it gets Parahax. And I'm just hoping to God that Dedenne can bust out of being frozen. He's still frozen, which kills me. The Ice Punch knocks out Dedenne, unfortunately. I was hoping for everything that it would thaw out, but it did not. Swampert comes out here, and obviously Swampert is going to Mega Evolve and then lay down some Stealthies. Lucario obviously can't move because he's Parahax, and then I end up using the Earthquake and then knocks the Lucario out. Yeah, there wasn't really much you can do with the Lucario that's Parahax, so I guess they decided to keep it out there for his sake. The Mega Sceptile is going to knock out Swampert with a Frenzy Plant. That's no doubt about that. I was hoping I could probably live something, but I didn't know that it was a Mega Evolved Sceptile. So Starmie's obviously out here, and Starmie uses the Ice Beam, and that knocks out Sceptile. The Frenzy Plant makes him wide open, but I don't think it would have mattered. Starmie is faster, I think. If not, then the Ice Beam definitely would have wrapped it up. Starmie has the burn because of the Flame Orb. I use Trick to switch it out, so the Ampharos ends up having that instead. Starmie somehow manages to live that Thunder Punch. I'm actually really impressed. So Ampharos ends up getting hit with the burn as well, so I switch out with the Starmie. And then Breloom obviously is going to eat that Thunder Punch like no one's business, especially since its attack power has been lowered. The Toxic Orb on Breloom allows him to get more with the Black Sludge, and then I use the Sword Dance in order to get even more attack power. I eat up these attacks and then use the Poison Heal, and then I try to get up another Swords Dance because I'm going to be really powerful after this. I'm going to be like a freaking monster after all of this power. The plan obviously is to use Poison Heal, and then I'm going to use Drain Punch for the 2-time Swords Dance. That's going to give me tons of health, and it's also going to do a lot of power. So yeah, Breloom got all of that back thanks to that really powerful Drain Punch. The Intimidate is going to lower Breloom's attack power, so I decided to go ahead and just switch out because I know Breloom's not faster than a Staraptor. Staraptor ends up using Sky Attack, which I thought was pretty unique, a Godzabada. So then I end up using some spikes. Obviously, my Skarmory here is a really defensive type Skarmory with a Rocky Helmet. So each time he uses Close Combat and Sky Attack on me physically, it's not going to do much damage. I think the Sky Attack did have an herb on it. That's why Staraptor didn't have to recharge afterwards. So I end up using Brave Bird, and it ends up knocking the Staraptor out. I was able to stall out, and I got a lot of spikes out on the field as well. So that's pretty good. Samurai comes out here, and Samurai's job, I guess, was to, just hope for the best with an Ice Beam. It does critical hit, but thankfully Skarmory still eats those up for breakfast. I end up using Brave Bird. I lose a little bit of health. He uses Hydro Pump. It misses because Hydro Pump's accuracy is weird. And then I use the Brave Bird, and that knocks Samurott out. So all that's left is the Charizard. Charizard comes out here. He takes huge damage from the spikes, and then he uses Thunder Punch on Skarmory. Skarmory's going to eat that right up. But he does get paralyzed. The Rocky Helmet does do some damage. I get Parahacks. That's okay. Skarmory only has a little bit of health left. I can still outlast. Plus, I still have tons of Pokemon left. I decided to stall out a little bit more with the Roost. I think Charizard is going to use Blast Burn. Yeah, that Blast Burn knocks out Skarmory, but it leaves Charizard wide open because I know he doesn't have another item. And if he does have an herb, yeah, it would keep him healthy. So, yeah, the Charizard gets knocked out with Boom Burst, and that's the end of that match. Pretty good match utilizing Dedenne and Skarmory mostly. Swampert didn't really do much in that one. My last Gen 6 OU battle is against Tustus. So, this is actually a pretty cool battle. He's got a lot of fighting types on his team. I think every Pokemon on that team is fighting type. Yeah, it's part fighting, part something. So he's really passionate about those fighting types. Dedenne goes in with the Nuzzle. Breloom goes in with the Leech Seed. Obviously, I'm going to lose health each time thanks to the Leech Seed. So I decided to go ahead and switch out. I don't want Dedenne to end up losing health gradually. So Noivern comes out here. Noivern's going to wrap things up with a nice flamethrower to knock Breloom automatically out. And, Breloom's not going to live that. From a Noivern, at least. So then Medicham comes out, and Medichamp's going to Mega Evolve, but I know I'm still faster, so I'm going to bust in an Air Slash and knock out the Medicham. So there's one Mega Evolution that didn't even get a chance to do anything, and I was rather impressed. I was like, wow, this is definitely not Ash's Noivern. So I ended up using Air Slash, and freaking he lives, but then he ends up getting the flinch, and I'm like, whoa, that's awesome, but I guess I was too lucky because I end up using another Air Slash and misses, and then I end up getting hit with the Outrage. So I'm pissed about that. Scrappy's out here. I'm going to knock it out with Play Rough because it's part, I think it's Dark and Fighting, so it has a quad weakness to that Play Rough. Toxicroak comes out here. I do not want to deal with the Toxicroak, so I go ahead and switch out to a Skarmory. Skarmory ends up getting, using the Gunk Shot, but it's obviously not going to work because Skarmory's immune. So the Cross Chop ends up hitting Skarmory. Skarmory ends up using the spikes. I'm going to just take this time to land some spikes so that Toxicroak can take in the Rocky Helmet damage that he's getting from. Anyway, I decided to bust in a Tailwind for some reason. I don't know why I had Tailwind on this set. Yeah, for the life of me, I have no idea why I had Tailwind on this set. It was kind of weird. But at least they're slower now, so I decided to go ahead and use that to my advantage and use the Brave Abado. And he hits me with the Stone Edge. The Stone Edge just barely is short of killing me. I take that advantage, and I end up using the Roost. I know if he uses any physical attacks on me, well, besides the Stone Edge, obviously, because it does make contact, he'll get hit with the Rocky Helmet. But the Hawlucha has Roost, too, so I go ahead and finish things up with the Brave Abado. And yes, I say it because they say it like the anime, brave though. But anyway, Heracross comes out, he takes spike damage. Obviously, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. He uses Shadow Claw. Heracross ends up taking a little damage from the Rocky Helmet, and the Brave Bird wraps it up. So yeah, that was a good battle with Tuss. I used Skarmory and Noivern and Dedenne in this entire match, and it was a really great match. So with that said, I'll see you all then in the next Pokemon Showdown video where I battle more trainers. See you all then, everybody. Tyron the God 3.